All right, we'll start with the report outs. We've got 3 ISO 20022 bulk payments, onboarding infrastructure, and module loop in a box. We'll start with ISO 20022. Michael, take it away.
Thank you very much. So I have very little to say, I'm afraid. Well, actually, I have quite a lot to say, but very little of it has to do with actually putting things on the sprints board and things like that. So, as you know, we have an application in place currently with the ISO standards group. We expect that comments to close on that at the end of this month. What we have proposed to ourselves is, first of all, the formation of an interest group to deal with the definition of what systems, payment systems, also what the business requirements for payment systems in developing economies are. And by the end of this month, to have a clear statement, at least, of what we think the business justification for a specialized set of messages should be. So we have 2 real important things to do over the course of the next month. The first is to turn ourselves into a productive working group, which, given the caliber of the people who attended, I'm sure will not be a problem. And the second is to produce sufficient material where that, I mean, of course, it may be that the ISO group will say, what a fantastic presentation, go ahead, chaps. But if they don't, then we will be in a position when we resubmit our business justification to say, this is a business justification which not only has the approval of the Modular Foundation, but also it has the approval of a wide variety of people who are clearly interested in this area and clearly have something to say about it. So it's not just us. Now, that's quite an ambitious objective, at least for the first half of this PI. We expect then to be starting to go on and start to look at the definition of individual messages, the questions of how we might resolve differences between the ways in which different kinds of schemes do things. So, for instance, in our discussion, which I think Kim felt perhaps became a little bit too detailed, we identified an important difference. So, as you know, modular models, maybe you don't, but I'm about to enlighten you. Modular essentially relies on authorization from the participants for the success of a transfer. A number of other solutions rely on a central approval, and effectively, if it's the central unit, the switch that approves the transfer, then the transfer works, goes through. Now, one of the things we thought we will need to consider as part of our deliberations is what the implications of a difference like that are for message content, message structure, and message authentication. Now, it may be that there are no differences that we need to consider in relation to that. On the other hand, it may be that there are some, and those are the kinds of detailed decisions that I think we will be requiring our members to devote their attentions to in the next part of the PI. So that's our plan. We didn't hold a vote either on their confidence. No, don't care. Right, whatever. I don't want to drive a coach and horses through the procedure here, Kim. But guys, folks, people who are in this group, what are you? I want you to hold up a number of fingers based on how confident you are that we will do a great job. 1 is terrible, 5 is great. By 5, 3, 4. Yeah, so I think we're a solid 4 here. Okay, and anybody, sorry, any questions?
What's the objective? What just tell us you
do good stuff. That's always our objective. I'm surprised you even needed to ask that question, Pedro, or Warren. Yeah.
I was just wondering if we could, so did you guys have the notes on the board then or not? Because, okay,
We just
they're
talked
not like us.
productively. But we will be setting up an open channel on Slack for this group. One of the things that the members of the group have committed to do is to just document their priorities for this group. And so, as I say, it'll be an open channel. People will be able to come on and look if they want to. Okay. Well done. Hey, thank you.
Okay. Next will be Lewis.
I was second on the board. Can I share my?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you to the many people who contributed to our work stream. We had a lively conversation, looking at all things. Oh yeah, sorry. I'll let you do that, Kim. You're the expert. Yeah, we looked at a number of things, ranging from a developer who wants to kick the tires and just get Moduloop running on their own machine, so they can participate and they can learn and they can hack away, to an almost production ready environment that a vendor could take and deploy in the real world. So in between those categories of classes of contributor, there's quite a wide range, and there's a few places that fit in there, and we're going to be working on articulating those different categories a little bit better in the coming weeks. We kind of had a set of persona who had a bunch of needs, and then we were really debating around what are the different tools or the things that we can do to meet those needs. And there's a bit of discussion and stuff around which are the right tools for the right things, and what level of granularity or what level of automation do those sorts of people need. I don't know how to make that bigger, but that's all right. You'll just have to put up with it. So coming to our objectives, we decided to really just focus on this idea of install one-click or local one-click install. We're gonna leave the discussion around sandbox environments and more pre-production environments and stuff that is needs to be publicly accessible by multiple people. We're going to leave that to next week or the week after for the new work stream. But we decided to really just hone in on this local one-click install, because that was something that was a bit easier for us to agree upon. So this local one-click install is for developers. It's disposable, easy to reset the data in a heartbeat. It gives us the ability to kick the tires quite easily and not get stuck in the Moduloop help chat and wasting, well, not wasting, but taking up Miguel's precious time and Sam's and a few other people who are very responsive. It should run on 8 gigs of RAM or less. And one other thing I'd like to try and do, and we talked about this a little bit, was is it possible to install it in under an hour with a bad internet connection? Because we all know, by using at least us here, by using the hotel Wi-Fi, that having a resilient install that can work, or at least you can restart and not have to start from scratch, is something good to have. The other objective we had was just to really hone in on the functionality matrix. So to say to people, okay, you're this is the class of installer, and this is the thing that you need, and this is the environment, and this is the environment for you. And to be able to turn on it, and be able to specify the sorts of features that you need. Okay, do you need merchant request to pay? Then okay, this is how you're going to turn that on, or this is the type of environment or tooling that you'll need to play around with. Or do you want deferred net settlement, or do you need the other one, gross, real-time gross, continuous gross? You can tell I pay attention to you, Michael. So let's just break it down. We didn't fill this in as much detail as we'd like to. We were just too busy having rigorous discussion. But really in the first sprint, we'd like to make sure that we've defined that specific list of features that's going to be configurable. We're not going to, and from that list, prioritize based on our understanding of what the market needs. For example, peer-to-peer is higher priority than 3PPI and bulk. So then from then on, we're going to be building and building. And the goal is by the mid-PI, we'll have a blog post that is announcing the first edition of this local install script. And we're going to show that to people and hopefully get some really valuable feedback from them to say, hey, it worked, or hey, it didn't work, or hey, it does this, but I'd love it if it did this thing as well. And so that's going to be our goal by the mid-PI meeting. If we don't have that, you can talk to Tom, because he's on the line for this. I think we decided. And then continuously improving it for the rest of the PI. So like I said, not too much detail. In terms of the risks, as always, the perennial risk is not having enough resources to complete these tasks. So please get involved if this is something you want to see happen, as well as scope creep. It's easy to get distracted by things before we've shown it to the market. And so hopefully we can, do the agile thing, right? Get it out, show it to people, get some feedback and keep on improving it. We don't have to wait 13 weeks to deliver something of value. And our confidence vote was very high. I think this is the highest confidence vote, Kim, that I've ever had. 4.5. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Are there any questions? Yes, Paula. Tyre. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. You're from across the pond. All right. Anything else? Anything more constructive?
Fine to me.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Michael. Sorry, Michael's got a question back there. Mr. Richard, Professor Richard. Sorry. No, Simeon's coming. Yeah.
Thanks. So one of the things that we talked about this morning, and I think we should have as an objective, I didn't see it there, but maybe that's just because I weren't looking correctly, is to say we need the business people to provide a clear statement of what it is they want to see.
Yeah. I'll add that right now.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael. The confidence vote plummets.
Thanks, Louis and Michael. Wanted to be part of those, but we did have a very good group of people talking about bulk payments. Thanks for those that joined remotely and in the small group here. Let me see if I can share the same screen. So Louis, did you share from here or from your? Okay. Yeah, I'll share from. Yeah, I'll share from. I'm also.
Yeah.
So we should get the bonus points as well. Okay? You're also using that.
I don't know how to do this.
Okay.
There it is. Go over there. No, that's not okay. I'm going to stop touching it.
So can you see this in the? Okay.
I can't find it down here.
Did you close it out? Did you guys close out? Oh, here it is. Is it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's there.
It's so small.
Double.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so you're sharing?
Yep.
We're good.
Thank you. Thanks, Kim. Yes. So it was a good discussion. There was some disagreements initially, but we were able to arrive at a consensus. So thanks to everyone for being open, articulate, helping come up with some goals and some confidence vote there as well. So we had 2 confidence modes. I'll come to that. But there are 4 high-level topics we wanted to focus on. One is implementing bulk support in the short-term strategy. So this follows Paul Makin's presentation on bulk payments, where he presented a short-term strategy and a medium-term strategy and a more long-term strategy. So the short-term strategy, where we wanted to break down the bulk initially at the DFSP boundary itself at payment manager, and then send those out as individual transfers. So the goal for this PI is to implement that, and the confidence level on that, so Paul Baker confirmed that, is very high. So I put it as 4.5. There are 3 other topics we looked at. The second one is disaggregating the bulk at payment manager or switch. So we wanted to, obviously we realized that we need to support FSPs that do not support bulk functionality. So the discussion there was that can we use something like payment manager to disaggregate bulk into individual transfers and then submit it to a mobile wallet solution or a core banking solution. Then looking at it even at a higher level, then should we provide such a functionality at the switch itself for FSPs that do not support these peripheral components? So that was the topic there. That is something that we want to look at, get a decision. So in this PI, we want to get a decision on that and designs as well. That is the goal on the second topic. The second one is a proof of concept for G2P and electronic cash transfers. And a final one is a bulk payment portal. So this is something that we want to see implemented as well. But in this PI, we want to focus on gathering requirements, and a POC would be a bonus. But this would involve 2 things: account lookup, which is more straightforward. But for identifiers that are not registered to any FSPs, also provide ALS registration as well. So that is something that we want to explore and finalize the requirements. Those are the 4 objectives for this PI. For the first one, we had a confidence vote of 4.5. For the other 3, it was 3.5 because there is a little bit of uncertainty. And the risks common to other work streams, we thought we needed support from the community. And these also depend on funding and resources and other implementation projects, as usual. So those are the objectives, risks, and yeah, confidence votes. Thanks to the team. Do we have any questions? Pedro? Yeah, I can repeat the question here if you want. Yeah.
So did you guys consider the reference architecture design that we have for bulk payments? Because we designed it already. So that's my question.
So
because you mentioned there that you want to design it. And
so this design is not like technical design. We are not designing for bulk payments from scratch. So the design there was for disaggregating on the periphery.
Okay. So
not the switch.
Do you have an idea on how it aligns with what we designed before?
I don't have at this point, but I'll check that out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was my question.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for the question, Pedro. Yeah, it's definitely we need to align before going in further. Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you, Kim. Simeon.
Okay. A round of applause for Sam and the team. Excellent. So, one of the things that I particularly struggle with sometimes is we have a clear direction. Actually, let me first pass it over to Paul. Paul, do you want to wrap this up?
Paul Macon, I assume you mean.
Yes, Paul Macon.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for their keen participation in those sessions. It was really helpful. Out of this, I'm going to be following up with people with. Hi, Lewis. I'm going to be following up with people effectively in the self-selecting teams. So trying to actually put together a work program and try to recruit volunteers to carry out the tasks that have been identified on these boards. I'm also going to pursue you after that for participation in similar work stream sessions for what were the two that didn't make it? Just hold on there. That would be foreign exchange and merchant payments, which to me are both very important ones as well. So through the Product Council, I'll be pursuing you for support in those areas as well. So I hope that I'll be able to get as much support today then as we did today. So just finally to say thanks very much, but it doesn't end here. The work begins now, really. So thank you, and speak to you soon.
Thank you,
Back
Paul.
to you, Simeon.
Thanks, Paul. If you didn't see, Michael was eagerly waving at you. I think he's missed you. We'll send him home.
Michael is.
All right. I just want to reiterate something, that one of the things that we are going to try and do this time around differently is we will be pursuing people individually based on interest or based on your skill set to try and join and contribute back to these work streams. I think it's a bit crucial that a number of these things happen sooner rather than later. There we go. But real quickly, I want to now move.
Simeon said it much more politely than I did. So thank you.
All right. I don't know if people on Zoom can see the screen. Can I? No, not yet. So I will share my screen. Can I now? I think so.
Yep, you can see it.
There we go. Excellent. So I do want to take some time. This is probably my most exciting part of the conference. I don't see my mouse here. Let's go. Move this here. So this is one of my favorite parts of the conference, second to the cocktail dinner. Once a month, Megan and I sit down on a call and we spend a lot of time looking at different numbers around the community. Those of you guys who've been around for a while have seen the evolution of the community metrics. And we're starting to get close to, well, we're pretty much there with the metrics we want to track. Now, tracking metrics isn't enough. I want to showcase some of those metrics to you shortly, but tracking those metrics isn't enough. We have had discussions over the last 2 quarters, last 2 PIs around incentivizing, providing incentives for people. And I do have with me a limited edition swag bag. So no, Louis, does not come from Woolworths. It's just in a Woolworths bag. But yes, now, first of all, a big thank you to Paula. I often have to fight with her for money for silly things like this. So I'm very grateful to the foundation for this stuff. This is swag that nobody else has. Not even I have it. The only way you get this swag is by being an active contributor to Mojo Loop. And I want to spend some time breaking that down realistically. So I'll give these guys a minute. Yeah, there we go. So what are the list of statistics? As of maybe half an hour ago, the total number of people in our Mojo Loop community is 2,294. That is a growth of 4.3% from the previous quarter. That's quarter 4. Sorry, this is January through March. this is Q1 statistics. So anything you see on this board, and that's indicated otherwise, is Q1 statistics. Q1 this year statistics. So this is a 4.3% increase, which is great. We have, for a couple of PIs now, we've had a consistent number of people joining the community. Now, when they join the community, that's not the problem. The problem usually comes in when it starts to become active. And the number of, there's a little formula Megan and I use for calculating the number of active Moduloop participants, and I'll break that down in a second. In January through March, the number of active Moduloop participants is about half of the total, which is 1,196 people, an impressive increase of 75.2%, which is awesome. And what do we mean by active? We track metrics along your activities, whatever it is that you do the number of new Moduloop participants in this quarter is 247, just in case you're curious. This is great. There's a group from a university here. Which university is this? Sorry, I can't hear. Institute of Accountancy, Arusha. We're hoping you guys, thank you so much for coming, and we're hoping you guys and all the others in your university are able to join the community and become active. This is the latest number, 247, which isn't too bad. What does active mean? Most of our activities in the Moduloop community happens virtually, and it happens on 3, maybe 4 platforms. It happens on GitHub. So we are creepily able to track your activities on GitHub. That's all listed there. Pull requests, issues opened, folks created, comments on existing issues, repositories that have been starred, pull requests that have been merged. Each of these activities do not have the same weight. All these activities are weighted differently. So some activities, I mean, if you close a pull request, or if you have one that's merged, you definitely get more points than if you star a repository. So Slack, if you send a message, we do have a way of filtering out Lewis's snarky comments on Slack. They don't count. But any activity on Slack, because there's a lot of conversations that happen on Slack, and a lot of them do move Moduloop forward. I'll give an example. About once every 2-3 days, a new person will go into the help channel on Moduloop Slack, and they'll complain about installations. Like I said, Helm charts is usually the culprit 9 out of 10 times. And often you'll see Miguel, Lewis, Sam, and others coming to the rescue. And those types of conversations move the thing forward. Or somebody will post an image of some diagrams or for discussion, or there'll be, some sort of decision making on a certain topic. We watch those very carefully. I spend too much time looking at Slack every day. And those are also weighted differently, but they do contribute towards determining your active level, your activity level within Moduloop. Discourse. Discourse is hosted on community.moduloop.io. A lot of stuff is there, especially governance documents from the design authority that are the most consistent, the change control board, the community council, any topics that are hosted there, any discussions you want to begin there, that is also weighted. So the new one that we just added is Twitter. We realize there are a lot of people who use Twitter especially for advocacy work. And so we have began starting this quarter, Q2, to monitor your active contributions on Twitter, especially those of advocacy. It's not enough to take a picture with Sam in his fancy blue suit and say, Moduloop PI18 hashtag. You kind of need to say a bit more. So this is how we're able to track. Now, this is we use a nice little tool, and it's very, very sophisticated such that we are able to track the most active contributors and the number of points each person has from I think it's October 17, 2021 to date. No, 2020 to date, right? And we do them by quarter. So we rank those people based on an orbit system. So some of you may have seen this diagram, but I'll take a minute to explain this one more time. This is how we view our community, as a series of concentric circles. Is that right, Michael? Yes. So at the core, orbit level 0, you can consider that the team or the Mojo Loop software. Like that's the hub of the entire community. As you begin to go further out, that is, the farther you are from the center, the more disengaged you are from the community. In orbit 1, we've got builders, orbit 2 contributors, orbit 3 participants, and 4 explorers. I will go through them in reverse order. Explorers are those folks who read our newsletter, watch videos on their YouTube channel, who attend our meetings here or virtually, or those who have tried and tested Mojo Loop. They're not fully activated members yet, but they're definitely passively interested. And this currently form the largest part of our community. Then we have orbit 3 participants. These are people who have already onboarded into the community and they're starting to establish a track record. So these are the folks, the new folks you start seeing in, what do you call it? These are folks you start seeing in some of the work stream meetings a bit more consistently, and who are starting to give an opinion on the work that you're doing, which is great. And there are some people here who actually fit into this category. And they often do lightweight contributions to start with, which is great. And we're definitely looking to increase these folks. Contributors. These ones take more time-intensive, high-impact roles in the community. You'll often find advocacy folks in this group, often giving talks or hosting small events in their regions or in their countries. And they're very visible and recognizable in our community. I think you all have an image of somebody in mind who might fit into this category, which is great. And these people are awesome. Then builders. These are the folks who have a very high level of community. Majority of them are actually in this room. They are known to very many members of our community. They probably lead various groups within the community, either governance or work streams or otherwise. And these are awesome folks. And then we've got the team that's essentially Megan and me. So what are the latest numbers on this? Here you go. We have 118 people who are in our community and are not part of any of these levels. We've got 99 who are explorers, folks who lurk around the community. We have 93 who are participants. We have 36 who are contributors, and we have 20 who are builders. To give you a comparison, just before you clap there, Sam probably remembers in Q4, we only had 12 builders. In Q1 this year, we have 20 builders. Actually, I'm going to read you the stats directly here because I have them pulled up separately. If I can find it. Sorry, so builders, we have an increase of 66%. Contributors, we have an increase of 78%. Participants, we have an increase of 74%. Explorers, we have a decrease of 92%. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because some explorers may have upgraded to the participant level, others may have fallen back to the explorer level, and same thing with no level. We have a decrease in 47%. So those are all good stats. So kudos to all of you for stepping up. Great. Let's go to awards time. We will start, we'll give 2 categories of awards with Mojo Loop branded limited edition swag. You will never see these again, ever. I guarantee you. If you have one, please wear it with pride. we'll give two categories. We will have active community members and then new and promising community members. So we'll start with category one. The active community members, this is in recognition of community members who have actively contributed to the development of Mojaloop in Q1 of 2022. So if you hear, I'll call them out I'll reveal them, but if you're here, I will ask you to come and receive your honorary limited edition Mojaloop branded swag. Drum rolls, please. That's a very good. And there you go. So in Q1, the most active community member is Miguel de Barros. Is Miguel online? There you go, Miguel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. And then there is Kevin Liao. Is Kevin online? No, he's not. And Sam's here. Yeah, come, Sam. So I will give Sam his limited edition Mojaloop branded swag. Congratulations. So Sam got a new cap. At the back, it says Mojaloop Star Contributor. So limited edition. Yeah, please don't give it to you.
I'm really happy for Kevin and Miguel. Yeah, thanks.
All right, awesome. Who is close to Miguel? I never know where Miguel is. Okay, so Miguel, you will get your hat as well, because I know there's a t-shirt coming back for you. Vijay is not here. Sam, can you get Vijay his cap? So please receive it on his behalf. Yep. Who's next to Kevin? Where is Kevin? I don't know where Kevin is.
I volunteered to take it.
Do you live in Kingston? All right, we'll find a way of getting it to Kevin. Michael Wagner. I know he's in Cape Town, right? He's in Cape Town. It's Silly here?
No, he's online.
Huh? Yes, I thought Tilly was in the room to receive it for him, but that's all right. Mr. Michael Richards, Professor Michael Richards. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Awesome. Shashikant Hirugade. Where are they based, actually? Do you know where they're based? New Mexico. Mexico. Okay. So congratulations to Shashikant. Mr. Lewis Daly. Yay. There you go.
I would like to point out, thank you, everyone. I might have some automation that has me logged in, which means it might not be me making the
No,
commits.
it's you. So don't cheat and automate yourself for next quarter. David Fry. I know David's here somewhere. Yes. Coolio. Congratulations, sir. You're very welcome. And the last one is Mr. Pedro Barreto. Right, so these are the, yeah, congratulations. In East Africa, that's a very political thing to put hats on the new people. So excellent. And then we will go to new and promising community members. This is in recognition of new and promising community members who have engaged actively in the Mojaloop ecosystem in Q1. I will read the names. Donald Bartlett, Winte Emmanuel from Reconnect, Mohammed Al-Nozli, Sam George, Maha Abdulaziz, Patrick Delcroix, I have no idea how to pronounce that name. That's Chtoru, Khaldun, Musando, and Dushime Rendez Fabrice. A round of applause for all of them. Now, in addition to those folks, you will remember last year we had a summary of all the past convenings, all the people who were between Q1 last year and Q4 last year who are also considered most active. You do not go away scot-free, so we will give you a couple of hats. Lewis already has one, Kevin already has one, Sam already has one. The fourth person is Powell Marzek. Powell's not here, but who can get it to him? Is that, where is Powell? Poland. Why didn't you come and get it for him? All right, we'll get one to Paul. You sure? Okay. There you go. Mr. Godfrey Kutumela. Godfrey is based in somewhere near Johannesburg. Yes. So we'll bring those in. Sridhar. Sridhar is based in India, right? Yes. Sam, do you want to? Yeah. No, this isn't sharing. Then the last, no, Shashikant, that has one. Valentin Genev, where's Valentin? He's in Bulgaria. Okay. All right, I will pass that over to you. You have too many. Dorota Moskowitz. Dorota is in Johannesburg. So we'll make sure Johannesburg, Dorota will get hers. Bukasa Amy, he's part of the security team. Joburg, no? Botswana, maybe? No, it's not sharing. This is something else. Very helpful, Lewis, very helpful. All right, James Bush, very good member of our community, former chair of the Design Authority. Michael, do you think you could get it to him? Yes, please come in. Please let him know we miss him and we'd like to see him around the community again. Oh, good. Excellent. Pass our regards to, as you call him, Professor Bush. Matt Kingston. Where is Matt based? Somewhere else, Slope. Okay. Okay. Mr. Paul Baker. Paul is in
the UK.
Okay. Paul is here. Paul, congratulations. A round of applause for Paul.
Thank you.
Excellent. Pedro Rezi has one. Ooh, Mr. Michael Wagner. Is he here? He was here at someone. He was, well, okay.
I'm online. Hi, Simeon. I'm online. So I'm in Cape Town. But hello,
okay, cool.
And I'm really pleased to be here. Thank you so much.
Excellent. A round of applause for Michael. And okay, excellent. Then the next person is the leader of the FSP IOP SIG, Special Interest Group, Mr. Henrik Carlson. He's not here, but a round of applause for him. And then finally, the one person with the longest questions, second to what's his name, John Mark, Mr. Miller Abel. Thank you, you're very welcome. Yes, so now round of applause to all our community award recipients. So that marks the...
I'm going to interrupt you. Sam, you want to join me? One of the benefits of my job is I get to pull rank. Sam and I and others were talking this week about how vibrant this community is, how much we've enjoyed this week. And there's two individuals here with us today that have made much of this happen. So first of all, I'd like to recognize our community director extraordinaire, Simeon Orico. Give Simeon a big hand. And secondly, the person that compiled all these stats and has that deep knowledge of how we do this, Megan Cannon. So please join us. I hope you don't mind, Simeon, but thank you. But yeah, we couldn't do it without them, and they've been a treasure this week. So definitely important contributors. Thank you, guys.
I guarantee you that was not part of the program, but thank you very much, Paula. There are a couple of other people who actively work in the background. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to ask Catherine to come on video if you can. Catherine, are you there? Oh, wait, I need to put this on the thing.
One moment.
Catherine, are you able to turn on your video?
Yeah, one moment.
Yep. I'm going to see if I can spotlight you.
Loading, sorry.
We can't see you yet, Kathy.
Oh no, it doesn't want to load my video.
I'll give you a minute to try while I ask the camera to just span out across the room. There we go. So this is Catherine Lavallee. Catherine is usually, this week has been at her office in East Coast at 3 a.m. every morning, ready to support us. And she's the one who's planned a lot of the logistics, a lot of the programming, helped with the agenda, making sure you're all full and your flights are all together and everything. So I just want to recognize Kathy, and I want all of you to give a big round of applause.
Thank you.
So thank you, Catherine, and the whole events team at Virtual. We really appreciate your work. With Paula's blessing, we will give you a Mojo Loop branded limited edition star contributor hat. Thank you so much, Catherine. Excellent. So this roundly brings us to the close, but just before we close, I'd like to give Matt and Miller an opportunity to speak, and then I'll pass it to Paula to close officially. Matt? Yeah. Why don't you come up this way?
Well, short from me, but it's so great to be back together after 2 long years of doing these things virtually. These events are just special. So much gets done that just doesn't seem to get done to be possible without us being together. So thank you all for coming, for braving the sort of early travel days at the end of hopefully the end of our global pandemic, and just couldn't be happier to be back among the community, and thank you all for coming. Miller.
Excellent, thank you, Matt. Miller.
Well, of course, Matt said the most important thing, which is it's great to be back together again after 2 years. It's been fantastic. But so much progress was made even while we were away, that when we look back at where we've come from, I was reflecting on that. The software line count from Sybos in 2017 was 25-ish thousand with 1,100 modules inbound, something like that. And we're now at what, 3.01 something million lines of code. So yeah, so we've gone quite a bit. And that goes back to the dedication of everybody who's been working on this so hard. And I'm so glad we all got back here again, and it's going to be great to see you all in the island in October. Thank you very much.
All right, so just one last thing. We have 2 more convenings at the end of the year. So one in July and one in October. So stand by for information. At the tail end of this convening, you will all get an email with a survey. Previously, 5 people have filled it. I would really, really appreciate it. I'll actually give you points so you can get a hat if you could fill out the email survey that comes immediately this convening ends. We use that feedback to plan for the next one, so that would be very helpful. I will pass it to Paula to close.
Thank you, Simeon. And first of all, in addition to being delighted to see all of you here and still hear this at the end of the convening, I'm also delighted to have my clothes. So I even changed twice today. But at any rate, thanks everyone for your support. I know it's hard to do this via Zoom. And so coming here face to face has been great. But I really must applaud the people that have been on Zoom and have been presenting live and putting their headshots in their PowerPoint presentations. That was brilliant, Paul. It was great to see your face. It felt like he was in the room. And so what we want to make sure is that if and when we do face-to-faces again, that we take advantage of that, because it is hard for everyone to come to all 4 convenings. And speaking of which, as Simeon mentioned, we're going to be going to Zanzibar in October, and some people said, why Zanzibar? We were just in Tanzania in April. Well, 2+ years ago, we signed a contract with a hotel in Zanzibar to host a meeting in 2020. And the hotel was happy to take our deposit. And then lo and behold, a pandemic broke out and we didn't want to lose our deposit. So they said, well, we'll move it to the next quarter. We'll move it to the next quarter, and we'll move it into 2021, and then we'll move it into 2022. So we're kind of going to use it or lose it this time. So that's part of the rationale for going to Zanzibar is, as a nonprofit, we have to be mindful of money. And we already have a strong deposit, a great venue in Zanzibar. I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you that can make it in Zanzibar in October. So that's the long story about why Zanzibar. Another important milestone is next month, we are 2 years old as an organization. So Miller had this brainchild many years ago, and many of you have been working with us for more than 2 years, but it's an important milestone for us. We're really excited to see all the progress across the board, not just development, but outreach, awareness, people advocating for us and creating strategic relationships. So we appreciate that and encourage you to continue to be our ambassadors as you go home and as you log off Zoom. So with that, I would like to bring back Simeon. I wish you all safe travels home. Let's hope the pandemic is behind us, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Paula. Have a good evening.